Hi guys, welcome back. Waxing on Friday, and today I mentioned it was going to be a soundtrack, but it's a little different from some of the soundtracks we've heard. This one's all composed by one musician, composer, and that's Tom Waits. We talked about him quite a while ago, and you're thinking, well, what kind of soundtrack would Tom Waits have done? Well, it was for a movie by Francis Coppola, and the movie's called One from the Heart. Music with Tom Waits and Crystal Gayle. Country singer Crystal Gayle. Who would have combined the two of them together? I'll just give you some idea who's in the movie to give you some idea what we're looking at. The movie One from the Heart, Frederick Forrest, Terry Garr, great comedic actress, Raul Julia, Natasha Kinski, Lady Kazan, and one of my favorites, Harry Dean Stanton. You can never go wrong with a movie with Harry Dean, that's for sure. Basically, it's either going to be Tom Waits or Crystal Gayle singing, and sometimes they do a duet. Give you some idea of what we're looking at on here. He's got a lot of players and a lot of times orchestra as well backing them up. On the songs, we've got Tom's piano intro and Once Upon a Town with Tom Waits and Crystal Gayle's together. Wages of Love, another song with Waits and Gayle. Is There Any Way Out of This Dream features vocals by Crystal Gayle. Now, surprisingly on here, a lot of the piano work is not with Tom Waits. It's somebody else is playing piano, and it's a fellow by the name of Bob Alcavar. We also have tenor sax player Teddy Edwards doing a lot of work. Shelly Manne, we may have mentioned him years ago, or not years ago, in last year. West Coast drummer. Shows up in a few things. I think we had him on, I'm going to say, the Scott Joplin albums. Picking Up After You, Tom Waits, Crystal Gayle again with a solo performance in Old Boyfriends. Broken Bicycles, Tom Waits solo. Circus Girl. Now here's one, a lot more players on it. We got tenor sax Teddy Edwards, we mentioned him. We got trombone Dick Hyde, tuba Don Waldrop, woodwinds Lanny Morgan, and trumpet players Chuck Finley, Jack Sheldon. Now Chuck Finley was a big session man. He gets a lot of calls. And that's one of the few songs he showed up on here. But Jack Sheldon, surprisingly, had a couple of tunes on this album. And if you go back and I remember even back as far as Foreign Affairs, Blue Valentine, Sheldon was playing on a lot of Tom Waits material. He was somebody that Tom called a lot to fill in when they needed a trumpet player. Now, Jack Sheldon was a session player. You may remember we did a show on him quite a while ago. He had been the featured trumpet player and featured performer on the Merv Griffin show with his big band. There was a saying, if you look at one of the videos on YouTube, that when Hollywood goes out to play, Jack Sheldon's the guy that plays for them. He was very popular in the West Coast. Came up alongside people like Chet Baker in the 50s. And certainly on here, Tom Waits utilizes him a lot, and it's great to see him getting some recognition on these kind of albums, because a lot of people hadn't heard a lot about Jack Sheldon, although I was surprised to find that we got quite a few viewers checking out his episode on Waxing On. Let's go back. You Can't Unring a Bell, vocals Tom Waits. This one's From the Heart, Tom Waits and Crystal Gayle again together, featuring Jack Sheldon. Take Me Home was Crystal Gayle's, and this one, piano, is Tom Waits. So he actually did play some piano on here, but not on a lot. And Presence, which was again, a lot of music at the end. Great album, produced by Bones Howe again, who was producing a lot of Tom Waits material at this time, but didn't really get the attention it should have. Maybe because it was a soundtrack. I know when I used to go through the record stores in the Tom Waits section, I don't remember seeing this. You'd find it in the soundtrack section. Maybe because at this point, Tom Waits was not as big a name as he became later on. And for the country people, I mean, they're not going to understand what we got here either. I mean, Tom Waits could not be further away from what Crystal Gayle was doing. It was a very unique combination they put together, but it worked. Again, all the music written by Tom Waits, one of the few soundtracks that he has worked on. Sometimes he might have contributed a song or two, but I mean, writing the whole score for this was amazing. And some great session work by people like Chuck Finley, Jack Sheldon, Shelly Manne. So well worth checking out if you can get a hold of one, or if you can find it on the streaming networks. Okay, that's it for today, Soundtrack Day. And Like back to Tom Waits, again, one of my favorites. So everybody, have a great weekend. Take care out there, and we'll see you on Monday. Thanks for stopping by.